Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 1 hour, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Union Budget 24-25 will empower every section of society. Asserts commitment to make India a manufacturing hub of the world. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presents the Union Budget 24-25, unveils 2 lakh crore rupees package for youth, focus on jobs, skilling and education. Also announces Prime Minister's package of 5 schemes. US Vice President Kamala Harris closes in on nomination with delegates secured to campaign in battleground state of Wisconsin and for the first time as the presidential candidate. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tells families of hostages held in Gaza that a deal would secure their loved ones' release could be nearing. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded the Union Budget 24-25 presented by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in the Lok Sabha today. Prime Minister Modi said that the budget will empower the poor through poverty alleviation schemes.
देश में गरीबी समाप्त हो, गरीब का सशक्तिकरण हो, इस दिशा में भी आज के बजट में प्रमुख घोषणाएं की गई है। गरीबों के लिए 3 करोड़ नए घर बनाना तय हुआ है। जनजातीय उन्नत ग्राम अभियान सैचुरेशन अप्रोच के साथ 5 करोड़ आदिवासी परिवारों को मूलभूत सुविधाओं से जोड़ा जाएगा। इसके अलावा ग्राम सड़क योजना 25,000 नए ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों को ऑल वेदर रोड से जोड़ेगी। इसका लाभ देश के सभी राज्यों के दूर दराज गांवों को मिलेगा।
Prime Minister Modi has said that the budget will act as a catalyst in making India the world's 3rd largest economy.
आज का बजट नए अवसर, नई ऊर्जा लेकर आया है। ये ढेर सारे नए रोजगार, स्वरोजगार के अवसर लेकर आया है। ये बेटर ग्रोथ और ब्राइट फ्यूचर लेकर आया है। आज का बजट भारत को दुनिया की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी आर्थिक ताकत बनाने के उस पूरी प्रक्रिया में कैटलिस्ट का काम करेगा। विकसित भारत की एक ठोस नींव रखेगा।
And the Prime Minister also said that youth from villages will be able to work in India's top companies under the apprenticeship program.
रोजगार और स्वरोजगार के अभूतपूर्व अवसर बढ़, ये हमारी सरकार की पहचान रही है। आज का बजट इसे और सुदृढ़ करता है। देश और दुनिया ने पीएलआई स्कीम की सफलता देखी है। अब इस बजट में सरकार ने एम्प्लॉयमेंट लिंक्ड इंसेंटिव स्कीम की घोषणा की है। इससे देश में करोड़ों करोड़ों नए रोजगार बनेंगे। इस योजना के तहत जीवन में पहली नौकरी पाने वाले युवा की पहली तनख्वाह हमारी सरकार देगी। स्किल डेवलपमेंट और उच्च शिक्षा के लिए मदद हो या फिर 1 करोड़ नौजवानों को इंटर्नशिप की योजना, इससे गांव के, गरीब के मेरे नौजवान साथी, मेरे बेटे बेटी देश की टॉप कंपनियों में काम करेंगे।
India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presented the budget for 24-25. That's her 7th straight presentation of the Union budget. This is the first budget during Prime Minister Modi-led government's third term. Presenting the budget in the lower house of Parliament, the Finance Minister said that people of India have reinforced their faith in the government led by Prime Minister Modi and re-elected it for the third term. She added that the government is focusing on the poor, the farmers, women and the youth. The Finance Minister said that despite global turmoil, India's economic growth continues to shine and will remain so in years ahead.
India's economic growth continues to be the shining exception and will remain so in the years ahead. India's inflation continues to be low, stable, and moving towards the 4% target. Core inflation, that is non-food and non-fuel, currently is 3.1%. Steps are being taken to ensure supplies of perishable goods reach markets adequately.
And let's take a look at some of the highlights of the Union Budget 24-25 presented in the Parliament on Tuesday.
The Union Budget 2024-25 provides the necessary impetus to the Amrit Kal vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. On the expenditure side, on infrastructure, rupees 11,11,111 crore rupees has been allocated for capital expenditure, which is 3.4% of GDP, but effective capex is 15 lakh crore rupees. On promoting clean energy, a taxonomy for climate finance to support the country's climate commitments and green transition. For agriculture and allied sector, rupees 1.52 lakh crore rupees allocated. For MSMEs, credit guarantee scheme for purchase of machinery without guarantee. Self-financing guarantee fund will provide guarantee up to 100 crore rupees. Limit of Mudra loans doubled to 20 lakh rupees. MSMEs allowed to unlock working capital by converting trade receivables into cash. To boost formal employment, 1 month wage to all newly entering the workforce in all formal sectors. DBT of 1 month salary in 3 installments to first-time employees registered with EPFO. Eligibility limit for the scheme up to 1 lakh rupees per month. Scheme to benefit 210 lakh youth. Internship opportunities in 500 top companies to 1 crore youth in 5 years to gain exposure for 12 months to real-life business environment. 5 schemes for employment, skilling and other opportunities for 4.1 crore youth over 5 years with a central outlay of 2 lakh crores. Rupees 1.48 lakh crores for education, employment and skilling. Rupees 3 lakh crore for schemes benefiting women and girls. Development of investment-ready plug-and-play industrial parks with complete infrastructure in or near 100 cities. 12 industrial parks under the National Industrial Corridor Development Program to be sanctioned. Mechanism for spurring private sector-driven research and innovation at commercial scale with a financing pool of 1 lakh crore rupees. One-stop solution for labour issues with comprehensive integration of eShram portal with other portals. On the revenue side, customs duty reduced on some medicines and medical equipment, mobile phones and related parts. Fully exempt customs duty on 25 critical minerals. Expanded list of exempted capital goods for manufacture of solar cells. Reduced customs duties on certain seafoods. Exemption on inputs of manufacture of shrimp and fish feed. List of exempted goods for manufacture of leather and textile garments, footwear and other leather articles for export expanded. Reduction of customs duties on gold and silver to 6%, platinum to 6.4%. Certain parts for manufacture of connectors and electronics exempted. Customs duty on ammonium nitrate increased to 10%. Customs duty on non-biodegradable PVC flex banners raised to 25%. Certain telecom equipment's duties reduced to 15%. 58% of corporate tax came from simplified tax regime. Short-term capital gains to attract tax rate of 20%. Long-term capital gains to attract a tax rate of 12.5%. Simpler tax regime for foreign shipping companies operating domestic cruises. Safe harbor rates for foreign mining companies selling raw diamonds in the country. Corporate tax rate on foreign companies reduced to 35%. Personal income tax rates up to 3 lakh rupees nil. From 3 lakh to 7 lakh rupees 10%. From 10 lakh to 12 lakh rupees 15%. From 12 lakh to 15 lakh rupees 20%. Above 15 lakh rupees 30%. Total receipts other than borrowings estimated at 32.07 lakh crore rupees. Total expenditure rupees 48.21 lakh crore rupees. Net tax receipts estimated at 25.83 lakh crore rupees. Fiscal deficit is estimated at 4.9% of GDP. The aim is to reach a fiscal deficit below 4.5% next year. Bureau Report, DD India.
And to get a sense of how the industry is reacting to that and how the markets are reacting to that, I'm joined by my colleague Shama Mishra from Mumbai. Shama, the markets, the Sensex ended 70 points down, Nifty at 24,480. But if you look at the stocks, it was a mixed bag. Why did the markets react that way, and what are market watchers saying?
Amritpal, whenever there is a budget announcement, the markets, most of the times, if you've seen in the last 10 years, the markets have been trading in red. And today, if we are seeing, it's the same story, and we can say that the investors were, very closely monitoring, scrutinizing the entire announcement and the sectors which the announcements are related to. And the same story we are seeing in the markets as well. But if you notice, earlier when the announcements were taking place, it was almost 1,000 point down. The markets were 1,000 point down. But now, if you see the closing point, you would see that there's hardly 0.90% it is down, not even a percent down. So that is there. Markets have corrected themselves, and there was not much of a surprise for them. That's what it indicates. And now if you're talking about the industry sectors, the industry players, we can also say that they are also quite happy with the budget, because there were no, as I was saying, there were delightful surprises, but there were no surprises that they did not like. However, many of them have these complaints that their particular expectations were missed in the sector, in the announcement. But however, they continue with the overall growth of the economy. So now, as we've already been hearing, and the economists are saying, the industry experts are saying, that the thrust has been on on MSMEs, on job creation, on women empowerment, women-led development, on connecting the rural areas, connecting the districts. All this has been done, and all the sectors, there will be so many sectors that will be connected to this particular growth story. We were speaking to CII industry experts, and from various sectors. For example, there was one expert from the hospitality sector, from the Kamath hotels. He had said there were not much announcements for the hospitality sector, but however, the spiritual tourism part, where Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, had said for the Bihar, that's entire circuit where there'll be spiritual tourism, and then Arunachal, the AP also. Andhra Pradesh, their hospitality has a greater chance to flourish, and this is a holistic growth, right from the person who's selling tea, right from the person who's selling a toothpaste, toothbrush. They will all benefit from this particular circuit. So hospitality sector will greatly benefit from it. Even the real estate sector, they have said that this particular government's this particular year's budget, or over the years, the thrust has been on affordable housing, and not on the luxurious the luxurious homes or the houses that the real estate development we have seen in the recent years. So there'll be more thrust on affordable housing, and that is how more and more number of projects will come up, and every sector related to that. So cement, steel, and every sector related to construction will flourish. So this is there, that is also connected. we were also talking about other sectors in overall, how consumers will spend more, how will they have disposable income. So when we are talking about the tax slabs, we have seen that there has been some tweaking and people will have some more disposable income in their hand. Once that comes into the economy, there will be a positive growth, and that is how people will have more to spend, and that will come back to the economy. We are also talking about inflation over here because, of late we will see that, we have seen that the inflation, CPI inflation in particular, has been a headache for RBI and for central government because it has stayed out of the comfortable range of Reserve Bank of India. And now the thrust is to bring it down under 4%. Over here, we are seeing that, various sectors related to agriculture, MSMEs and everything has also been given thrust on. That has also been laid emphasis on, so that this will get a boost, this will get a support. In turn, it will help in bringing the inflation down. So overall, we can say that under the 9 priorities that Finance Minister has listed and quite simplified the budget announcement, and it was a very short one as well. Industry leaders are hailing this particular budget announcement, and they say overall that this is quite like a laying foundation stone of a better future, of a stronger India, and that is going towards the Viksit Bharat. We will achieve that status before 2047. Amritpal.
All right, Shama, what about the entrepreneurs? Are they upbeat with the angel tax being abolished? It's good news for the startups, for their investments?
Well, definitely it's good news, and we were speaking to NSE, National Stock Exchange MD and CEO Ashish Chavan about this as well. So he has also hailed this particular step. He has lauded, and he has also said, and even the industries, the CII and other industry bodies are also saying that this one particular demand or expectation or request was on their list, and they had, these industry bodies usually speak to the Finance Ministry before the budget is laid out and before the budget is finalized. So they are saying that this was one particular request that they had been making since a long time, because when the angel, when somebody invests in a smaller startup or IT related company, the person who is having a small startup will have to pay those tax, and even the person who's investing it, who's giving in the money, there also we are seeing that there are some implications. So overall, even the investor and even the person who has that startup, both are now exempted. This particular angel tax is completely abolished. So definitely this is a welcome move. And as we say that, as we say that India is number 3 on the world's largest startup system, it is going to soon become at number 1. And this particular move or this particular announcement will definitely be working in towards that direction.
All right, I'll let you go. Go have some water first, Shama. Bye, thank you. And moving on. Under the union budget, revised tax slabs were announced. In the new regime, tax slab of 5% has been implemented towards personal income tax for salaried employees having an income of 3 lakhs to 7 lakh rupees.
In the new tax regime, the tax rate structure is proposed to be revised as follows: 0 to 3 lakh rupees, nil; 3 to 7 lakh rupees, 5%; 7 to 10 lakh rupees, 10%; 10 to 12 lakh rupees, 15%; 12 to 15 lakh rupees, 20%; and above 15 lakh rupees, 30%.
The union budget announced a new tax regime. The personal income tax standard deduction will be increased from 50,000 to 75,000 rupees.
Coming to personal income tax rates, I have 2 announcements to make for those opting for the new tax regime. First, the standard deduction for salaried employees is proposed to be increased from 50,000 to 75,000 rupees. Similarly, deduction on family pension for pensioners is proposed to be enhanced from 15,000 to 25,000 rupees. This will provide relief to about 4 crore salaried individuals and pensioners.
In another measure to reduce tax uncertainty and disputes, a thorough simplification of reassessment has been proposed.
I propose to increase monetary limits for filing appeals related to direct taxes, excise and service tax in the tax tribunals, high courts and Supreme Court to 60 lakh rupees, 2 crore rupees and 5 crore respectively, with a view to reduce litigation and provide certainty in international taxation. We will expand the scope of safe harbor rules and make them more attractive. We will also streamline the transfer pricing assessment procedure.
And on that note, we are joined by our guest, Nilaya Verma, CEO and co-founder of Primus Partners. And also I have on the screen joining my colleague Ambrasan, joining us from Chennai. First to you, Mr. Verma, how does the industry see this budget that was presented, tabled in the Lok Sabha by the Finance Minister?
Clearly, this is a budget which lays the foundation for long-term growth. And that's the direction of Viksit Bharat. I have said this before, in fact, before that we expected a budget which will help transition to Viksit Bharat. And at the top of that transition is the discipline on fiscal deficit. And this is important because with the glide path that the FM has given us, I think there will be more private investment because government borrowing will not crowd out private investment. And that's very critical for an economy, for growth. And this economic growth is really about 2 or 3 things. Number one, and the budget addresses all of them. Number one, as we grow, we need to create job pathways for people who are in the farm sector, agriculture sector, and that's manufacturing, and especially MSP. And that's something that the finance minister had addressed very significantly. But the second more important part to me is we're entering the world of creative economy where skills and IP are critical. And therefore, the investment and the allocation that the FM has made in both those areas, promoting funds for innovation, looking at funds for variety of sectors is very critical, especially skills. And I think that lays the foundation for future growth. I would also want to add a couple of other things that we don't talk about, which are smaller points, but I think very significant for long-term growth. I think the entire aspect of certainty and simplification of processes is critical. And I think over a period of time, whether it is custom duty and separately GST through the GST Council, we are bringing in a certain amount of certainty. And I think that industry welcomes. And I would finally say, in many other sectors, for example, housing, affordable housing is focused, but he's also brought in the aspect of rental housing, because that's really where the market is growing, which is where private investment can come through, which is where young people who do not want ownership but want better housing, or laborers working in industrial park. So I think there has been a whole host of measures. Big point is that this is an economy in transition. There is consistency in our approach, and there is a lot for everyone in this sector.
Okay. Also, Mr. Verma, the employment, generating enough employment at this point in time remains a key concern for the government. How do you see this budget addressing that?
I think within a minute of her speech, she's talked about jobs and employment. So clearly that's the top of the agenda for government, right? The apprenticeship program helps drive that. I have always voted for that our skilling system needs to be demand driven, not supply driven. We need to put money in the hand of the employer and the employee directly so that there is money to be paid for skill premium. I think that's the scheme that has been launched, and it will benefit MSME who often would want to save every penny, and therefore has been reluctant in investment in human capital. I think that addresses it directly. I do believe it will have a long-term impact. In the short term, some of the expenditure or the tax slab change as well as the standard deduction hopefully drives growth. But I would look, I mean, I've said this many years later, we're going to look back at this budget as to say, this is where we made the transition towards a economic system which is more demand driven rather than supply driven.
Okay.
If I can add one more point,
please.
Amrit, there was many concern that because there are elections coming in 4 states, we have coalition government, that a lot of freebies will happen. I think the government has done what is required to be done, but it has done so by investing in capital expenditure. Even in a state like Bihar, where a significant amount of money has been allocated, it's all around capital expenditure. And Bihar is one of the poorest states in the country. And capital expenditure to me is the recipe or the foundation for long-term growth. So kudos to the FM on that as well.
Okay. Let me bring in my colleague, my co-reporter Anbarsan, who's joining us from Chennai. Anbarsan, give us a sense of what is the mood of the people on the streets of Chennai that you've spoken to. Though the capital tax, the tax on capital gains has gone up, but again, the minister announced reductions or deductions, and as well as increase in the personal income tax. I mean the benefit they get on income tax under the new regime.
Yeah. As Union Finance Minister said, the theme of the budget mostly focused on employment, skilling, MSME and middle class. We can talk with earlier the industries, particularly CII and South India Chamber of Commerce, and they all said that this budget more focusing on the continuous growth of country, whichever they laid the road for last 10 years, the union budget they given, and this budget also along with that budget, it's a continuity of that. And also the budget this time more focused on the employment, and the various industries leaders are said that the employment category which has not been focused on that much earlier, after giving incentive and also the new entrance of the job market, they given a one month of wages and also the EPFO incentive and also contribution by the government. So these all continuously will be giving a boost to the employment side, and also focusing on skilling. Particularly the industrial leaders have said that we didn't get that much of skilled employed from the society, and after this much of Union Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that around 5 lakh crore has been given, 5 lakh crore has been allocated for skilling employees for next few years. So after focusing on this, the angel tax abolition, this will be continuous boost, and we can see that the industry on startup, wherever the new startup are giving this angel tax abolition, may given a boost to that. And also this continuous push on infrastructure level, and as a Tamil Nadu, one of the industrial state, the industry around MSME sector itself 45,000 of companies are there, and this push for the infrastructure around 11 lakh crore has been given. We can see there is no particular state-centric announcement. We didn't get any of that, but this more focus on around 11 lakh crore, so we can get more from that. And also the railway and various projects, particularly focusing on the infrastructure, we may get more implementation from that. And continuously we talk with the industrial leader, they said that the SIDBI branches, very specific announcement also came from that. SIDBI branches may be open on various circles of across country, so it may easy the company to approach for the more fund allocation, so it will increase more opportunity for the industry to get the more funds. And also particularly we talk with the public regarding that reduction and also increasing towards 75,000 on TDS on the personal income. So people are very happy that they may save more money, and as said that around 17,500 rupees will be more saving for the public, as finance minister said in the budget. So the people in Tamil Nadu and Chennai, they very much happy regarding this, and also state-centric budget, there is no announcement, so we may see after the final details from the announcement, we can get any more on that. Back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Anvarsan, for joining us from Chennai. I'll come back to you, Mr. Verma. If we talk about the finance minister lists out her 9 priorities and says, so if we go, one of the priorities is productivity and resilience in agriculture. So what kind of generation reforms is the government looking at in seeing that agriculture becomes more productive? It is a lucrative opportunity for both the farmer and also for the consumer. The food prices, for example, stabilize.
Yeah, Amrit, that's a really important point. Look, for India to grow, for people to spend, agriculture has to do well. And I often say agriculturists are the true entrepreneurs of India, because they're taking risk on everything from climate to seeds to the markets, on everything. I think fundamentally 3 points come to my mind in her speech, and rightly so. One, she's spoken a lot around the new varieties which are climate resilient. And that's really important. We've all seen in our lifetime the change in climate and the impact it has for all of us. And I think that's really important for us. I think the second point is something that has been a continuation. There is support for farmers, especially through DBT and other measures that continues to be in place. We need to look at the fine print in terms of the allocation, but that continues to be the case. And third is when she's spoken about cooperatives and FPOs, which really are the core infrastructure at the level of villages that need to step in for farmers to have a better realization of their produce. And I think strengthening those, which has been promised and which has been said, will go a long way, because end of the day, with improved connectivity, with better infrastructure at for farm produce, we can hope to get, or farmers can hope to get, better return for their produce. But for that, cooperative system as well as FPOs have to come together.
All right, Mr. Nilaya Verma, thank you very much for joining us for the moment. We leave it there. Thank you very much. And still to come up on DD India News Hour, industry leaders laud initiatives launched for the manufacturing sector in the Union Budget 24-25.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future, because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
This week on Defense Dynamics, we dive into the turbulent waters of Indian Ocean, where shifting alliances and growing rivalries are redefining the security landscape. Discover how India's announcement to upgrade its military bases on Lakshadweep Island is poised to counter the nexus between China, Pakistan and now the Maldives. And also how the simmering instability in India's neighborhood, that is Pakistan and Bangladesh, could have a wider impact on the security dynamics of the whole region. Do tune in for strategic insights that will guide India's geopolitics in days ahead on a special episode on DD India, Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. IST.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Amritpal Singh. And let's now go over to my colleague Amit Mukherjee, who is in a parallel studio, who explains the finer points of the budget that the finance minister presented in the parliament today. Amit, it's over to you.
In fact, we have been hearing a lot of voices regarding what the budget actually doled out in the parliament today. I mean, when Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was talking about what the budget holds for different class of people across various sections of the society. Now, Amrit, one has to understand that this budget was an extension of the interim budget which was presented in February. And Mrs. Sitharaman, she said a lot of things, but also important are the things which she did not mention in the budget speech, but they definitely hold the key to a lot of pivotal things that India is looking at. Number one, India is looking at making itself a developed nation, which is Viksit Bharat, that has been the Prime Minister's dream, and what has been kind of outlaid in the entire budget process. Number two, there has been schemes which will actually boost consumption in the entire country. That is again going to take forward the GDP growth. And at the same time, while we are looking at the growth, the government has also ensured that we are embarking on a green economy, which means a sustainable one, where there is a lot of provision for green technology, solar energy utilization for various purposes, then nuclear energy utilization to make things much more greener, and slowly kind of reduce the usage of the fossil fuel, which has been kind of polluting the environment. Also, a lot of emphasis has been given to job creation, because we find a lot of programs for the youth, the empowerment of youth, the skill upgradation of youth, which is going to lead to a lot of new job generations. And the other thing is that India is looking to target itself to be the third largest economy in the world. We have also heard the Prime Minister kind of coming and reiterating the fact that if India needs to kind of be the third largest economy, there are a lot of things that has been kept in this particular budget that's going to spearhead all those things that will actually lead India to becoming a $5 trillion economy in the short term and a $7.5 trillion economy by 2030. Now let's take a look at some of the incentives that has been extended to strengthen the GDP of India and making India a domestic manufacturing and an export hub of the world. Number one, a lot of schemes have been extended to give incentives to capital gains. The capital gains, short-term capital gains of financial assets to attract now 20% tax. That's a big rebate that has come up. That's going to benefit corporates. Long-term gains on all financial and non-financial assets to attract tax rate of 12.5%. Now that is a big thing, down from 20%. Moving ahead, increase in the exemption of capital gains on financial assets to 1.25 lakh per year. Again, a big sort of an incentive that has been extended. Angel tax. Now, this has also been a concern about money laundering, but in fact, Mrs. Sitharaman also answered queries that why angel tax was actually abolished, and this is definitely going to give a lot of boost to the startup segment, because somewhere the angel tax was actually being a hindrance, was becoming a hindrance in the development of startups. So that is again a very, very key important sector that has been taken care of. Now, deduction for salaried employees hiked from 50,000 to 75,000. I think we have already discussed about that, and that has come as a major incentive. Moving ahead, there has also been something for the senior citizens of the country in the form of deductions of pension that has been hiked from 15 to 25,000. So overall, that's going to lead to a saving, in the domestic budgets. Also one of the important things which I would like to point out is where India is positioning itself to be the third largest economy. For this purpose, India has been looking to create situations whereby a lot of corporates which are based out of overseas come into India, start investing, For them, let's take a look at what are the incentives that has been extended. Now, FDI rules have been simplified to attract, that's the bottom line. The FDI rules have been simplified to attract foreign investment. This is very, very important on the road to becoming the third largest economy of the world. India to promote Indian rupee as a currency of trade overseas in the overseas investment. The corporate tax rate for foreign companies have been reduced to 35%. Now, there has been a significant amount of number of voices which have been saying that there is a disparity between what the tax that the Indian corporates are paying vis-a-vis the taxes which are being paid by the foreign companies operating out of India. Now, although there still remains a gap, but this thing, the rate which the foreign companies are paying have now been considerably reduced to 35%. Simpler tax regime to operate domestic cruise. Now, India is also looking at promoting tourism in a big way. So, these are all cruise liners which have been operating in the domestic Indian waters. Now, a SOP has been extended to them, making their tax payment much more easier. Another important thing that we have to look at is safe harbor rates for foreign mining companies in India. Now, India over the years have evolved as a major diamond hub, and a lot of foreign companies have been operating in India. They bring their diamonds into the country, they get it polished, convert them into finished jewelry, and they are exported back. Now, for those companies which are based overseas, things have been simplified further so that more and more companies, foreign companies, come into India, look at India as a manufacturing and a jewelry development hub, and for them things have been incentivized further. Also, ESOPs, for officials who are working in companies have been given some sort of a relaxation. This is again a move to kind of strengthen the corporate sector, the corporate sentiments, and so that more and more people, it gives some more stability to the whole corporate structure. Now, social sector has also been taken care of well. Allocations of over 3 lakh crore schemes benefiting females. Now, remember, the current government, the Modi-led government out here, has been focusing a lot on development of, empowering females, development of farmers, skilling youth. So this is also another segment which is not only going to create employment, improve the life standards of lots of females across the country, but it's also going to create a lot of job opportunities going down. 1 crore youth to be skilled by Indian corporates, top corporates of India. Government is going to set up schemes under which top corporates would be imparting skill upgradation modules to all these, the 1 crore youth, which is almost equal to 10 million youth across the country. They will be kind of upgraded in terms of their skills. So, Amrit, these are the large points, at which of the budget, which India is looking at on a broader scale. I mean, right from employment generation to increasing consumption to making India the third largest economy by creating opportunities for foreigners to come and invest in the country. Back to you, Amrit.
Thank you, Amit, for joining us and explaining the budget in detail and its implications in detail. And let's now take a look at some of the reactions of the union ministers on the Union Budget 2024. Listen in.
एक तरीके से सबके लिए ड्रीम बजट है, सब सेक्शन के लिए और खास करके युवाओं के लिए और महिलाओं के लिए। इससे जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, रिकॉर्ड नंबर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का जो एलोकेशन हुआ है, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर का 11 लाख करोड़ से भी ज़्यादा कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर, ये ऐतिहासिक है। और अलग अलग राज्यों के लिए जिस प्रकार से खास करके जो ईस्टर्न इंडिया जो इकोनॉमी के लिए थोड़ा सा पिछड़ा है, बिहार, झारखंड, वेस्ट बंगाल, उड़ीसा, आंध्र प्रदेश और साथ साथ में नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लिए जो भी आज बजट में अनाउंसमेंट हुआ है, मुझे लगता है कि ये ईस्टर्न इंडिया एक इकोनॉमिक हब के रूप में उभर के।
Having said that, I think it's an inclusive budget which takes care of every section of the society. Definitely, yes. I mean, I am Bihari and I am very happy and I am very proud of the fact. And I thank my Prime Minister, I thank the Finance Minister for taking Bihar under special consideration, because for the longest time we've been demanding for the special category status for my state. But if not that, then at least we have got this special package which is taking care of majority of the problems concerning my state, whether it's about infrastructural development, whether it's about promoting tourism, increasing the revenue of my state, or whether it's about concerning the floods, which is one of the biggest problem which we Bihari faces every year. So I think it's a budget which takes care of every section of the society, and this gives a strong base towards the Viksit Bharat.
And Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that with several initiatives launched, India has walked the talk. Be it on women-led development or fiscal consolidation, India has championed major policies.
This budget presents a very solid fiscal consolidation. I mean, the fact that the economy has grown well in the last few years, the fact that the projection onward is very healthy, the fact that our fiscal deficit has come down from 5.1 to about 4.89%, the fact that this budget is sending a very powerful message that in the coming time we will be concentrating on 4.1 crore youth will be provided employment over a 5-year period. For the first time, an innovative scheme has come in order to be able to give internships to a large number of our youth in the top 500 companies of the country.
And Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal said that the budget is going to be a transformational one in its impact on the industry, on internal trade and international trade.
This budget lays a clear roadmap, given the 9 priorities on which the Honorable Finance Minister has focused, to set the country on a fast trajectory, to help our youth through skill development and employment initiatives, ensure that this becomes the 3rd largest economy of the world, make us more competitive both within the country and across the world, thereby promoting manufacturing, promoting the services sector, promoting tourism.
And Health Minister J.P. Nadda stated that this forward-thinking budget prioritizes social welfare, infrastructure development and technological innovation, also paving a way for more prosperous and equitable India.
Sustainable development and economic resilience. This visionary budget not only addresses the immediate needs of the nation, but also lays down a robust framework for a long-term prosperity, prioritizing infrastructure development, technological innovation, and social welfare. It paves the way for a more prosperous and equitable India.
And Minister for Railways Ashwini Vaishnav said that this year's rail budget is historic. The net revenue expenditure of Indian Railways is set at 2,78,500 crore rupees in the budget estimate for 24-25.
2014 के समय करीब this number used to be only about 35,000 crore rupees. 35,000 करोड़ रुपए होता था 2014 में. आज एक नए लेवल पे बहुत बड़े स्तर पे 2,62,000 करोड़ यानी 2,62,200 करोड़ रुपीस का एलोकेशन है. इस एलोकेशन का बड़ा हिस्सा सेफ्टी रिलेटेड एक्टिविटीज पे है. 1,08,000 करोड़ सेफ्टी रिलेटेड एक्टिविटीज पे है, जैसे पुराने ट्रैक्स को रिप्लेस करके नए ट्रैक लगाना, सिग्नलिंग सिस्टम में इम्प्रूवमेंट्स करना, फ्लाईओवर और अंडरपास बनाना, कवच का इंस्टॉलेशन, ये सारी चीजें सेफ्टी रिलेटेड एक्टिविटीज इन सब के लिए 1,08,000 करोड़ का बजट एलोकेशन इस बजट में है.
And in the budget presented today, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced that 1.52 lakh crore rupees has been set aside for agriculture and allied sectors. Welcoming the budget and the overall outlays for agriculture, Union Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that the budget is the foundation budget for building a developed India.
कृषि और किसान कल्याण के लिए इस बजट में क्रांतिकारी प्रावधान किए गए हैं. उत्पादन बढ़ाने के लिए विशेषकर क्लाइमेट चेंज के खतरों के कारण पुराने बीज अप्रासंगिक हो गए हैं, उनके कारण उत्पादन घट रहा है. एक बड़ी बात ये कही गई है कि फल की, सब्जी की और अनाज की 109 नई बीजों की किस्म को लॉन्च किया जाएगा जो जलवायु अनुकूल होंगे और किसानों का उत्पादन बढ़ाने का काम करेंगे. न केवल बीज की नई किस्में अपितु उत्पादन की लागत घटाने के अनेकों प्रयत्न इस बजट में किए गए हैं. जैसे सस्ता ऋण किसान को मिल जाए.
And Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu praised the budget and said that special announcements were made for betterment of the youth of the country. He also hailed the special package for the southern state of Andhra Pradesh.
There has been a lot of focus on youth of this country in providing employment to them, in generating a lot of employment, in skilling them and giving them loans to set up their own businesses, to invite foreign investment also in manufacturing industries. So when these kind of discussion happens in the budget, it is a good sign for the country. It is moving in the right direction in providing a lot of jobs for the jobless of this country and the youth of this country. So I would like to specially thank the central government and Nirmala Sitharaman ji and Modi ji for putting special focus on this. And also special thanks from my side on the state of Andhra Pradesh. 5 crore people of Andhra Pradesh are really super happy with the budget today.
Business experts in Dubai have also responded positively to India's budget, highlighting its potential impact on UAE-India economic relations. They credited Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and the Modi government for crafting a budget that they believe will strengthen India's economic position and its ties with the UAE.
This is a very good budget, especially for city of Dubai, which we say city of gold, because custom duty on gold decreased from 15% to only 6%. We will take a lot of golds now back to India. Moreover, standard deduction limit increased, rationalization of long-term capital gain and short-term capital gain, and markets have gone up so much. We don't mind paying a small increase in the security tax. Overall, I can see this is a job-oriented, politically correct, ground reality budget which has come after many years.
This budget is very good budget, and from heart the voice comes that is Jai Hind, because it is a Nirmal budget. I am repeatedly saying it is a Nirmal budget, it is a clean budget with regards to agriculture, with regards to employment, with regards to skills development, and of course in context of Dubai, where there are 3 industries. Dubai is known for tourism, Dubai is known for gold, Dubai is known for textile, Dubai is known for electronics, and of course the labor market. I think all these 4 or 5 pillars or the parameters are very well addressed.
And that's it in this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the day, on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code you see on your screens right now to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Amritpal Singh. From my entire team here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour. Stay tuned for a special show coming up next with my colleague Sakal Bhatt.